I would say like one of the things that we hear a lot, and if you could help kind of unravel a little bit, is like, okay, so you get this biannual engagement survey, you get the results, you run your workshops, you know what you want to go after. How do you start getting approval? Because typically like you need some sort of budget to like go after that. Like walk us through like how do you get approval when engagement is something that takes a while, right? Like you're not going to necessarily see like, oh, great, like you threw a pizza party, now everybody's happy. Like that doesn't solve the problem. So like give us a sense for like how you've put together cases to actually move the needle on engagement and why that matters.
Yeah, no, that's it's a great question. But in my opinion, some things don't cost a lot of money. Now, I recognize, just as you mentioned, having a pizza party, it's not going to change overnight. We're in a unique situation here because, as I mentioned, this was an acquisition, and so we need to really integrate the location with our culture. It was a startup, so we kind of have twofold, but for example, some of the things that we're focusing on that we saw as feedback from our workforce is communication. Communication doesn't cost a lot of money. It costs time, but it's time well spent. A lot of, there may have been communication to a subset of employees, but it really didn't get throughout the organization, understanding what our mission is, what's going on with safety, what's going on with quality, who our customers are, what they're expecting from us. And so the plant manager and I have come up with a robust communication plan. It's going to take some time maybe for employees to come off the floor, some time for us to communicate, but again, it's time well spent. A couple of other, things that we're doing here is in community involvement. A lot of people feel good about volunteering, and that's one of our core beliefs is responsibility to our communities in which we work. So, crafting committees, having maybe what we're thinking of having a charity every quarter that we engage with, and also establishing a long-term engagement with a non-for-profit or an activity, something in our local area that we can establish a long-term relationship with. So for example, hey, Mondays, that's the BorgWarner day that employees come in and they volunteer. And we are going to be giving employees paid time off of work to do that. So they're not feeling pressured into taking their valuable vacation time or, so it's kind of a twofold. So these are things that don't require a ton of money, but that, some of the smaller things that you can do to improve engagement.
Then how do you know that it's working?
That's another great question. So we are going to, a couple things. One, there is the biannual survey, but that's really just, over time, how we're improving in our results. And obviously we look at it from, the 2023 survey. And then in 2025, when we do it, we'll look at those results. But I think directly, you can see in the numbers. And what I mean by that is you could see, specifically in volume, the amount of product that we're producing is almost double the amount of product we were producing at this time last year. And obviously it's quality too, making sure we are producing a quality product. But I think that's one of the key measures. And then also it's not just the communication to employees, but we're offering communication feedback on a routine basis. I would say, communication to us, how are we doing? What's working? What do we need to improve upon? We're going to be implementing a suggestion program as well, so we can really hear what's happening. And so it's continuous improvement, maybe just not on engagement survey results, but hearing that, people are, how they're feeling. And obviously bottom line is attrition too. If people are leaving the workforce, why are they leaving? What can we do to make things better? Why did you even take the phone call, or why did you, to recruit away? Obviously there's some things we can and cannot do to retain people, but that's key, especially those that are really helping us make a difference.